Hello guys, hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm gonna be showing upgrading firmware on all of these 7 KS0 PRO, Ice River KS0 PRO. So I do have the 19 volt setup, 19 volt step up converters for this system from server's PSU. I had added one more server PSU. I did start recording this video, but it's kind of went weird, and the almost 40 minutes, and I did a bunch of testing, and I had to re-record just now, so there's some of the parts going to be missing, I guess, but majority is to watch out for your temperatures. And if you could tell, I removed the front and back of the cover plates. I collected them, and over here I'm gonna do the rest of this miners too, and I labeling. So make sure when you remove these guys, you store all the screws and you could label it so you could put it back the way it was if you need to sell them. Also for it helps a lot to move the air. I'm gonna show you here. It's the we're getting about 2.5 miles, 3 miles per hour right through this when we run it right through. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let's see. Yeah, right there. So it's about right there, 3 miles per hour right through the case in there, right? So it's a good sync. We have the airflow. We do have, I did connect this first one to 12 volt. We're running overnight on the 19 volt. So you could see the power amperage is using, it's 11.2 amps, which is really high for this connector. This connector is really designed for 10 amp. So we're gonna look at the temperature, see if it's not overheating. I'm gonna do 19 volt on the other ones because it's running only 7 amp. Why is the, okay, focus. Okay, so 6.5 amp, 120 watts, 127, 130 watts. On 12 volts, this one is 133 watts. So the wattage slightly different, but regardless, I want to test it out on 12 volt and see if it's even gonna start it. So it did start. In mines, we'll see how long and if it's stable. On the 19 volt though, it did 10 hours straight, and it was 300 gigahash on the pool, which is a great sign. I did start my second one, firmware upgraded. However, it didn't go well because I did at first the wrong pool and it didn't hash, so it was kind of weird. I sat there, keep on trying different settings, different overclocks. They're from 280, 270. There's 2 for 280, 2 for 270, 2 for 260. So anyways, it didn't work, but then I figured the pool was wrong. So you gotta make sure you put the correct pool, because you're not gonna get hashes and it's gonna kind of trip you off. Now on the first one, however, I did the right pool, but it didn't hash on the 280GL. I had to switch to 280G, and then it started hashing on the full hash 280. So before it was only 200. So I'll show you real quick here. I hope you guys could see well. Let's look at the web GUI on my first. So this is my first one. It's running on the 12 volts. I like the 12 volt system, gives you a lot better temperature. Now, when I have this covers closed, front and back covers, before I remove this, my temperature were going at 66 degree with the 100% fan, actually 63 degree with the 100% fan. Now I have 50% my fan, 50% on internal fans, and the temperatures are 53. My external fans are running, let's take a look, at 1200 RPM, those AAOTOKK, and you cannot even hear them. So it's really still, I'm really happy, it's still really quiet. Hopefully it will work as the heater, that's my goal. But when I did on 19 volts, this temperature was like 57 degree at the 60% internal fan. So we'll test it out a little more. I'm more concerned about connector being loaded at 11 almost 11.2 amps, especially with that power usage. So we'll keep an eye on the hash rate on the pool as well, because it's getting good result on the web GUI. And we'll go to the next miner. I upgraded this one. Let's see if we get in. So yeah, look at the hash rate. We only getting 180 gigahash. So I have to go to the next one, firmware upgrade, and just get, hopefully the G version may work, may not. Again, it's a silicon lattery, so we're doing that on the second. Now follow instruction, make sure you read those instructions, because it's the all step by step. You have to reset your miner to factory setting and upload initial file first before you proceed to any other. So that's what I did from beginning. Reset to factory settings, then I did firmware upgrade to the initial, and now it's reset it. Okay, so I'm gonna wait till this restarts. My number 3, I upgraded to the GL, and it didn't work. Now I put the G version, and it's still 266 gigahash. I'm not getting 290, so I may need to reduce also to 270, which is a bummer, but we'll see. I was really happy with the first one, because I did really get a good result. Now on the second one, let's take a look. Actually, did I set the 100% fans? Yeah, we need to set 100% fans. Just to be safe when we start in this thing. And you can hear that, it's a lot noisier. Just to keep but the temperatures are really, really low. I don't know what's going on here. I don't think this thing is fully hashing just because of that. It just, so okay, number 3 was not stable. It just restarted by itself, so it's not gonna be even here, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, it's showing 0 watts, so that means it's automatically restarted, and it's gonna go back on the web probably. Let's take a look here. On the second one, we're still resetting. Are we back online? Okay, so we'll check if we having any hashes there, and how does it work on the 280G. If it doesn't work, we'll have to go on the next one. So we'll set the also 100% for the fan speed while we start hashing. And then we'll adjust the temperature. Adjust the fans as the temperature goes down. So we are only good on the first miner, which is 288. Here on the web GUI, it was 290, almost for 10 hours. And I got 53 degrees on the exhaust, 28 on intake, which is pretty good. Low temperatures. I know it's cooler because I get the sliding door open. So let's take a look, and I'll get the rest of this. Guys, I'm gonna remove all these covers because the temperature is a lot better. I'll remove all the front and back covers, and we'll get back to it. It's not really hard to do. I'll show you maybe on the next one, just a second. All right, so it's pretty easy to do. There's 4 screws on each side. You just unscrew, and then from the other side, right? So just watch out not to lose these little screws. And then you remove the plate, just basically flip it over, tap a little bit, and the plate gonna come out. Come on. Right there. And that's it. And we'll store it in the box. And then the next side, again, 4 screws. Right, and take the plate out. So that's completely out. We'll label and store all these plates nicely in the box, so we'll have each miner here labeled by two of them together, right? So we can put it back together the way it was. And that's it. We'll put it back in the rig. All right, guys, after a couple hours of work, there is a couple updates there. So I removed all of these covers except one. Still need to come back and do that one. It was under test, so I didn't want to kind of disconnect it, but all 7 of them I removed, all 6 of them out of 7, and I nicely stored it here. So all of them labeled by 2, and have all the screws here, so I can save it. All right, so make sure you don't lose any of those screws or cover plates. Now, so it's a nice air coming through these devices. I mean, miners, and we could see there is about. I think we measured it. It was about 2.5 miles, 3 miles, actually almost 4 miles. I don't know if you could see that, 4 miles per hour almost, right? The wind coming through. Basically, at this fence running at about 1300 CFM, I believe, right? So 1400, and the second side, I set it up higher. Yeah, at about 1400, so almost full speed. You could hear a little humming noise, and obviously it's a little bit probably noisier. Yeah, so it's about 52, 53. Well, I'm not talking, but it used to be 48 and 48 to 50, so it's a little bit now louder because we have to get the fan speed all the way up in order to overclock this. So I did overclock all of them. I put the labels. So I was able to overclock this to 280G version. Number 2, I'm still playing with this, giving me a lot of trouble. Number 3, it's 270G. The only version worked. It's about 6 watt less wattage, and then 280G, 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 280G. So it's a nicely. Thank you to Tswift. It's the I really like the result. It's what I have is basically all of 6 of them right now are running at the higher speed. Obviously 5 at the 80, so I got about 400 gigahash extra. So it's like 2 extra ice rivers here, just for the price of 1, I guess, even less probably than that. And I have extra 70 gigahash here, and I'm still playing with that. That just goes offline. I don't know what's going on, so I'll update you guys on that probably a little later. So now you see I removed all of these transformers of 19 volt converters. So the reason I was gonna use them because of amperage on the connectors. I was really worried about the amperage being over 10 amp. It's 11 amp, but it's really warm to the touch. I checked the temperatures, it's around 100, so it's a little warmer than usual. See, like it's about 100 degree there, right at the connector. Not on this one. Let's check the one that mining on here. 95. It's not really that bad. 96. If this goes 97, 98. So there is nothing really burning, or there is no smell. Yeah, it goes to about 100 degree on a 12 volt. Obviously, if you use 19 volt system, you'll be a lot cooler on the connector, but I didn't like the power consumption, which every time I use this, I lose another 10-15% of the power consumption, which I didn't really like to have a lot of, to put a lot of wattage on my home outlet. So now I do still have one for the test. So I run them at 19 volts and I run them at 12 volts. And there is no change on the actual hash rate on the network, right? On the GUI and on the pool. So it took me almost 2 hours to play around, just because I have to go smoothly one by one, so I don't forget which one I convert. But number 2 is still having issues. I'm gonna work on that. Number 3 is the only one that lower. So let's take a look. All right, so I'm here on my laptop. Sorry, you guys hopefully can see all right, but so let's just walk one by one. I quickly update. I don't want to make this video extremely long. So this is my number one, and it's been running for 30 minutes. I had to switch it to 12 volt. You could see 293 gigahash. Not quite 30 minutes yet, so the temperatures are pretty cool. Actually, it's better on the 12 volt because I get lower temperatures with the same fan speed. So I'm running at 50% fans, 50% fan speed, right? Hope you could see that. And then I'm getting the this 3000 RPM. That's around 50%. 55 degrees because my external fans that blowing through, it's at 1400 RPM. But it's still kind of quiet. It's not as not as bad. I don't want to use these fans, this crazy fans that I have. I have set of fans that I can use at any time. They're blowing like crazy. 200 CFM at 5000 RPM. That's super loud, but I don't need to use them because temperatures are really actually nice. I like them. I like to keep it around 55 or less than 60 if I can. So now let's take a look on the number 3. This one running at 270 gigahash. So that's the only one that lower gigahash, but let's update. It's been 12 minutes. And actually it's showing 280, but it's 270G version, and it's 63 degrees. I'm running at 50%. What I'm gonna do is probably I'm gonna bump it up to 80, so we don't get that temperature kind of high. 62. I want to keep it below 60, and then let's go next one. 60 degree Celsius, and it's been 19 minutes. 283. Let's see if we update it. Some reason, okay. Yeah, so it's 292, 243, not fully 30 minutes, and 59 degree at 50% fans, or it's a 60% fan here. Yeah, 60% on this one, and I'm still below 60, which is nice. So that's my number 4 rig, and then, I mean, not rig, but the KS0 PRO. Now number 5 is 287. Again, it's a 280 version, 56 degrees, and we are at 60% fan, internal fans. And then let's go to the number 2. So that's the one giving me a trouble. I have to put it separately at the very end. I still have to play with that. So number 6, let's refresh. On number 6, we get in 57 degree at 60% internal fans, 290 on the web GUI. Really nice. I really love it when it goes through smoothly. And then, by the way, 280GL did not work on any of my 7 miners. Just for your info. I don't know if you guys have same results. So the last one is 60% fan, and it's 282 gigahash, 27 minutes, and I have 55 nice temperatures. So just to conclude this, I still have to play. Look, it gives me a message, machine offline. I don't really like that. I don't know if you can see that. So machine offline, that just makes nonsense to me. It happened like, so it start, I update the firmware, the first one. I was able to update to the 280GL, and then when I do 280G, then when it's happened. So I did try 270G, and it's same problem. I'm gonna try probably just for sake of this video, just put 260G L. Let's try that one. I'll update, see if it's even gonna come back to life at all. Not gonna give me that trouble, although it's, let's see if on the pool did it show any of the rate at all. Number 2, well, it's actually showing 248. That's very interesting. So it does not show on the web GUI, but on the pool it has some hashing. Let's take a look what we have. 175 terahash. So we need to give it a time, probably 3 hours before we can. Best probably 24 hours, but just to get the full update on this network hash rate on the pool. But hopefully we'll get to nicely to 2 terahash, right? So 7 times 80, 560. So yeah, roughly we were supposed to be at 2 terahash, a little bit over 2 terahash here after full cycle runs through on the pool. So yeah, that's KS2 showing 248. I don't know, to be honest. We'll see if it runs on 260. So we'll give it a try. We'll see if it's gonna restart. What else? So machine is offline, so it started to give me that same message. So I guess it's just no luck with that one machine. I'm gonna have to restart, do all over again, and maybe skip 280, just go to 270 or 260 right away. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. That's pretty much the whole update there for the firmware update. I guess you just make sure you follow these instructions. And by the way, read the where it says, like, yeah, you're just supposed to know that anything you do with your miner is you initially losing your warranty. So just to make sure you're comfortable with that, and you do the correct instructions here. So you go step by step on the instruction on the Word file when you receive this. So I guess that's pretty much it for this video. I'm gonna play for the number 2 device. Every other device, I really like the result. It's the it's getting, see, 36 minutes, 200. It's actually a little bit over 280, which is I really like. It was showing me for the whole night. I deleted the video by accident. I started recording almost 40 minutes in. I got into the restart, something happened on my phone, and then I had to redo it. Anyways, that will conclude this video. So let's take a look one more time. We have this whole miner setup over here. All the fans nicely blowing the air through. So we have a little bit cooler air coming. If you guys noticed, I have a little door open here. So we have about 40 degrees, 45 outside, maybe 50 already. But it helps like to move, to set this whole thing up. If you're in the hot environment, just be careful checking your temperature. That's why I kind of open the door, just so I have a little cooler air here in the room. It's about, so I'm gonna show me now the temperature, just because of it was laying on the obviously on my PSU. Now, oh, I forgot. So coming back here, I had to add 2 PSU just because we exceeding. It's almost 930 watt of the usage just from the PSUs. And look at this, it's a 900 and 750 PSU. So my total is that I'm gonna be way below 80% of usage now, which is pretty safe. But now look, take a look, 930 watts, and that's for this mining right now machines. And then we only have the load of the fans, that's another 10 watts, so that's 940, around 945, maybe 950. So 950 of the total at the machines, but at the wall we are getting 1040. So we got 1040 now. And let's do a quick calculation of this. Okay guys, so all the machines been on the network mining for quite a bit, except the number 2 finally, after I got some of the hash around 240, 250 gigahash for the 260 G overclocks. Now all the other ones are seems to be doing fine. This one I restarted recently, so, and number 3 is still kind of getting back online it's about 30 minutes. Everything else about 2 hours. Look at those, all 2 hours, all temperatures below 60, like 57, 56 degrees. trying to get them to 55, but it's kind of hard with these overclocks. But it works pretty well. I like the result overall, and I have what's on the pool. 30 minutes is 1.95 terahash, so I did gain about 500 terahash, 530 terahash, not terahash, gigahash, 530 gigahash, right? So let's take a look which ones are, so we got 317, so look, it shows 317 in 30 minutes. We get a couple of those 300 gigahash, but that's gonna change obviously in the average in 3 hour range, so we haven't completed, but just at 30 minutes we are pretty close to 280. I'm not getting quite there on so this is 270, which you could see lower, and this is 260, which is still pretty good on the pool. And then number 4 showing on the web GUI, it shows 290 30 minutes. Doesn't make any sense to me. Why is it? What's going on with the hash rate? So it's 290, you could see, guys, on the web GUI for this one, number 3, right, and then number 4, and it's 257 here. Something wrong with the maybe I need to restart it, but 306, 278, and 269, a little kind of lower here on the 7. So the 4 and 7 a little bit out of range, but it'll probably update. More important is the average of the 3 hour and then 24 hours, obviously. But overall, I'm happy with the result. Getting 195 terahash, 1.95 terahash from 1.4. Used to get 1.44, 1.4, and they were pretty stable on 200 gigahash before. So I'm thinking I'm getting like 500, let's say 550. It's 530, probably according to the calculation. So I've got 530 gigahash, and 1950 minus 1400 I was getting before. So yeah, it's a 550 gigahash for a little bit over $500, 530 something dollars, 4,200 cost I paid for 7 machines, right, to set it up. So I think it's well worth it, because you're getting for the price of one almost 2.5 KS0 PRO. So really good result. Let's take a look at the power consumption now. Is I'm getting 1032, so I'm getting 1030, and I used to have 600 and let's say 60, let's round up, it was 650, 6855, but let's do that. It's 370 extra watts, so roughly 370 watts at the wall, because one of them I didn't overclock all the way, so it's pretty much what it rated, 55 watt on each, and there are a couple of them at 50, one at 50, one probably at 45. So that's roughly, we're getting correct wattage reported by Tswift. So what else there? And let's see what's the per machine. I'm getting 147 watts at the wall for each machine. So it's a pretty good result overall. I'm happy with that. I think it's well worth it. We'll see how it works on the network. I'll give it a day or two and probably update you guys in the next video, probably after a day, and we'll see how the profitability of that. Now, obviously, if you noticed, we are at, oh my gosh, we just hit 103 pentahash. What's the all-time high? Where is our settings? All-time high. I don't see it. forgot where to set it. What happened? So it's 104 and it's growing right when we look at it. So anyway, 104 pentahash. I think it went to 105 today, but Casper price 13 cents and 28 days to next block reduction. So that's pretty much it for this video. I'm gonna show you one more time this little setup, how it ended up going, and the wattage right at my number 2. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out what's going on. So with the 260 gigahash overclocks, it's at the connector is 123 watts. So we're getting 133 watts for each at the connector with the 280. So all of them 280, this 270, and this is 260 gigahash firmware. So that's about it. Let me guys know if you have any questions. Leave the comments down below. One quick note, I noticed that I had to align this with the center of the fan so I get like a more of a airflow through this. I don't know, you guys tell me if this is right, or maybe I should move to the side. So just trying to align more of a fan center so the air comes right through this. I removed all of the front and back plates just to get that airflow and get nice temperatures. I'm not going to be using this for this setup, the voltage boosters or converters to 19 volts, because the 12 volt worked okay for me. You have to, if you're going to be using this, watch the temperatures. It's actually kind of high. I'm still a little bit concerned, but because it's a little cooler here in the room, is about, I believe 60. Let's see, what's the room temperature here? We have 60, 21 Celsius, 68 degree, right? So 68, it's a little bit cooler. If you are in an environment where it's 80 degree, I would really watch these connectors because of, like I said, it's getting close to 100 on the connectors that we use from 12 volts, because of the amperage, if you remember, is about, look at that, 101. So yeah, they're kind of not too hot to touch, so they're not like super melting. 101, yeah, so it's, you could see they're warmer, but if you're in 80 degrees, just watch it out. Make sure you don't melt your connectors, because you can damage your device. So I don't know, for me it works out, guys. If you trying to do the settings now for 19 volts, actually up when I was trying to connect up to 19 volts is to I'm about 200 extra watts, maybe 150 extra watts of usage. So I didn't really like it, so I want to stay down a little bit from my power plugs, since I'm using this directly from the wall. And yeah, and I switched, by the way, the one that I couldn't overclock on my KS0 originals to 12 volts as well. So I'm only using the 19 volts for the overclocked ones for 175 gigahertz, because they cannot start on 12 volts for some reason. Other than that, it's went down 728 watts, used to be 740, so we're about 12 watts less, just because we dropped some of them, 2 of them on the 12 volt system. And here I think it's pretty good so far. I like it for the amount of hash rate we've got for extra 500, 500 watts, right? No, 380 watts. Close to 370 watts. Anyways, see you on the next one.